Straight on to Proddies, folks. Put your hands together again for him, Glenn Pagel. This is the final of the first week. SSA Ian Botcher Race Parts. Production Sedan, King of the Mountain. Around the top corner, Chris Pagel, Daniel Henshaw. Getting the drive up high on the racetrack this time was Jim Cowley. Tucked in there is Josh Harm as they go through the hairpin for the first time. Josh Harm gets past. Brock Ambrose is tucked in there as well. That's the way they head around. Pagel's corner for the second of 20 laps. Chris Pagel, Daniel Henshaw, Jim Cowley has got Josh Harm down the inside of him with the 32 car of Brodie Fraser suffering some problems, I think, with the car, and has pulled out up the main straightaway. Chris Pagel, Daniel Henshaw, Josh Harm. Jim Cowley would be the next one. Then we go to Brock Ambrose. Back then to Sarah Franz, and car 51 would be the next one. That's Dan Cook. No change at the front of the field as Chris Pagel continues on his merry way down through the hairpin. Josh Harm is starting to get a little bit closer to Daniel Henshaw. Back to Jim Cowley, Brock Ambrose, and then tucked in there is Sarah Franz. That's the front leaders of the field as they arrive at the hairpin once again. Chris Pagel up the zinc straight away he goes. Daniel Henshaw about to come under a great deal of pressure from Josh Harm. Harmy right on the tail of Daniel Henshaw as they go down the back chute and into the hairpin corner. Harmy up high on the track, tries for a little bit of a swap over, it doesn't work with Daniel Henshaw. Back then to Jim Cowley, locked in battle with Brock Ambrose. Sarah Franz would be the next one, and then we've got Dan Cook. Back to Steve Spence, race leader in the hairpin corner, and up the zinc straight away. Here comes Josh Harm. Harmy up the inside of Daniel Henshaw. Henshaw, no response. Can't go the pace of Josh Harm. And Harm sets off down the back straight away. One thought in his mind, I got to catch Chris Pagel. Daniel Henshaw. Next one through will be Jim Cowley to the better of Brock Ambrose. Sarah Franz is still in that mix as well as their race leaders in the hairpin. Josh Harm has opened up a little bit of a gap back to Daniel Henshaw. Jim Cowley holding at Brock Ambrose at bay. Sarah Franz in the mix as well. Next one through would be Dan Cook in front of Neil Caldoulis. Steve Spence, car 46 is Michael Mason. And car 27 at the back is Charlotte Christensen. Race leader has got some left traffic now, staring him in the face, and that's Chris Pagel down the back chute as Michael Mason has some troubles with car 46, moves it up higher on the racetrack, allowing Chris Pagel to get by. I'll tell you what, Josh Harm is probably closing the distance. Back then we go to Daniel Henshaw, a long way back. We find Brock Ambrose in battle with Sarah Franz. Jim Cowley would be the next one, and then Dan Cook. Our race leader is coming up on Charlotte Christensen. Goes to the outside of Charlotte Christensen, leading into the hairpin. Then slops back on the inside. Charlotte doesn't have to move out of the way, just has to hold her line. Chris Pagel continuing around the outside of Charlotte Christensen. Josh Harm has closed that gap. Daniel Henshaw back there in position number 3, and then Brock Ambrose to the better of Sarah Franz, Jim Cowley and Dan Cook. Next one would be Nick Caldulas. Steve Spence now has got our race leader very close behind as Chris Pagel moves up the main straightaway. Josh Harm is closer. Daniel Henshaw is still there in 3. We'll stick with our race leader down the back straightaway. Chris Pagel. Josh Harm is closing the gap. Steve Spence is the car in front as they go under the tower. Will Josh Harm have enough laps? We got one around in the top corner. The Caldulas car. Four laps remaining. This one is not over, folks. 4 to go. Outside the witch's hat, Chris Pagel versus Josh Harm, Daniel Henshaw, Brock Ambrose, Sarah Franz, Jim Cowley, Dan Cook, Steve Spence and Charlotte Christensen. That's the way they go down the back straightaway into the hairpin corner. Chris Pagel. Josh Harm is not too far away under the tower. They've dropped off Daniel Henshaw. Top corner. Here comes Harmy. Tucks the nose under, but it's no room there. Chris Pagel keeping them at bay. Into the hairpin corner. Harmy right on his hammer. Daniel Henshaw will have his hands full very shortly with Brock Ambrose. The next time round will be a white flag. Chris Pagel. Here comes Harmy again down the inside. Chris Pagel keeps him at bay. Into the hairpin. Josh Harm tries the crossover to move to the inside of the track. It's not going to work. White flag out. 1 to go for Chris Pagel. Josh Harm doesn't go round the outside. Down the back straight away. Chris Pagel. Hairpin corner one last time. Pagel into the hairpin he goes. Harmy up the inside, but he can't do it. Chris Pagel, Josh Harm, Daniel Henshaw, Brock Ambrose. And Jim Cowley, Dan Cook, Steve Spence and Charlotte Christensen. Round 1 of the SSA Ian Botcher Race Parts Production Sedan Mountain King. And Chris Pagel takes home a whole lot of points. He'll do his lap of honour, folks. Thank you very much for your attendance here at Corbet's Group, Mother Mountain Speedway. Stay in contact with us through our webpage, through Facebook, Instagram. You'll hear us on Radio Zinc too, so stay in contact. Even Gympie Today, the newspaper. Everything available. Well done, Chris Pagel. We will try and have a very quick word.